All right. So before we get out of here with you, Greg, we do want to have a little draft of Big Ten arenas. There's only three of us, so we can do two or three apiece. We'll snake draft it. We'll let you go first. You can do this any way you want in terms of toughest places to play, your favorite arenas to go to, however you want to do it. We'll let you go first, so you can go second.
So I'll preface this by saying I've actually only been to Michigan and Michigan State, and I'm hoping that changes a lot this year. I think Carter and I are sort of mapping out a plan to get to quite a few of the arenas, and Champaign is at the top of our list. So I think I gotta, it sounds crazy. I'm going number one. It to me is the hardest place to play. And I've heard multiple players say this. It's the Rack, or it was formerly the Rack. Now it's Jersey Mike's. That place has a voodoo spell on everybody. And I don't know if that's going to continue without Geo Baker and Ron Harper, but like it shouldn't be a hard place to play. And it consistently is. So that's my number one.
Yeah, that's one of the ones I haven't been to, but like I agree. It's just like everyone you talk to is like, there's just something so weird about it. It's the backdrop, it's the way it looks. Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, so I would take the loudest arena I've been in, and the one that I think maybe has the most voodoo magic to it, Mackey Arena in Purdue. Like that place is nuts. The way it just kind of like looks down on the players, the noise, the crazy state of Indiana basketball fans. It's not like the most glorious, glamorous arena, but like as an opposing player, I wouldn't want to play there. So I'm taking Mackey.
I wanted to take Mackey Arena. I was there for the Illinois at Purdue game, and an hour before the game, every seat was filled. Everyone was in black, and it was the loudest I've ever heard a basketball arena in my life, and it only proceeded to get louder. That place is bananas. It's so loud, and sound just vibrates through it. I'm going to go Indiana third. I love the way that it's essentially just like two big walls of people yelling back and forth. And I'm excited to see Assembly Hall kind of get back to being a really tough place to play this year, because Indiana does have some high expectations heading into the year. So I'm going to go Indiana third pick, and then we'll snake back around. I'll go with the fourth pick. This is where I feel like it gets kind of tough. I was surprised you took the Rack first, Greg. I'm going to go Illinois for a big time home game. The Orange Crush is bouncing. Everyone wearing orange. I'm going to go Assembly Hall / State Farm Center, or whatever you guys are accustomed to calling it. I'm going to go Illinois 4. Sam, what you got?
Yeah. I mean, so I have to say, I've been to both Michigan and I've been to Michigan State, and I didn't think it was crazy. Like, that's why I'm a little hesitant to take Michigan State. And I think I'll leave it I'll leave it to Greg. I'll go with another kind of surprising pick here that I think gives a place that gives people issues. The Barn, Minnesota. Like they're not like the record wasn't great last year because they weren't good. But do you guys remember during the COVID year, like when they were just kind of beating everybody at home and beating up on teams at home? And I think again the backdrop is weird. It's cold as shit in Minneapolis, and the floor below the court. It strikes me as a place like, especially because you probably don't go into that game thinking, oh, it's Minnesota, we got to get up for this one. Like, I feel like it's a really tricky place to play just when you factor in everything. So I'm gonna go with the Barn.
The Rays court is very cool. I will say that. I have always sort of wished Minnesota was better at basketball, because I think the Barn deserves to have some mystique to it, but it just never seems to happen. Maybe with Richie Pitino out of there, though, that it could trend that way. Thank you for leaving the Breslin to me. That's crazy.
I'll let you talk
value
about it. I've only been there once, so
I have not been there, so I felt bad taking it.
No, it's crazy value at the 6th pick. Like at worst, the Brez is 4th probably in the Big Ten, and it's not a great arena per se, but I do think, like, first of all, it's a good crowd outside of the student section. Like that place is normally filled entirely for any high major game. I grew up going to them. Again, I was a Michigan fan, but like I went to 3 or 4 games a year just because I lived 10 minutes from it. And like, it's consistent. It's been 2 decades of that place is filled pretty much every single game. The Izzone goes through waves. Like, I think it almost depends on like who the senior class is and how they sort of lead it. It's a very organized student section. But there are definitely like hot years and cold years for the Izzone. But like, I don't know how it was. You probably went for an Illinois game, right?
I actually went to Maryland my first 2 years.
Oh,
it's cool. So I went 2020 college game day. Like It was the game Anthony Cowan hit like 3 threes in the last minute.
Okay.
Trust the crowd. Yeah.
Those teams were both pretty good too, right? Weren't they like top 10?
I might have been sitting too high up though as a media member.
Okay.
I think that's what I wasn't really engulfed by it. I was kind of above it. So that
got it. Yeah, I was gonna say, I mean, it's like at least for Michigan games, like they open the doors probably 3 hours before the game starts, and the only people on the court are like the opposing guys coming out of the tunnel. And like I've seen them turn John Horford into like a pile of tears 3 hours before tip off. Like they're ruthless, they're prepared. So that's great value at 6. I'll take the Brez. And then at 7, I'm torn between 2 here. I hate the one I'm about to pick, but I gotta pick it because, like, as far as wins go, this is probably the best home court advantage in the league, and that's the Kohl Center. I mean, those refs are not gonna let that team lose. They just don't. So I feel like, yeah, who'd I take one? The Rack, Cole and Brez. You're not coming out of that trio with too many wins.
Yeah, no, that's
good call there. I'm not a huge fan of the Kohl Center, but yeah, if you're talking tough places to win, I think the Kohl Center is at the top of the list.
Yeah, now I'm kind of scrambling here. All right, I'll take the shot. Ohio State, the Schottenstein Center. Again, like nothing crazy, but you know, you probably get some home whistles there. I've seen like like the road games I've been to, Ohio State has protected their home court pretty well. I've actually been there for 3 games, which is kind of weird because it's Ohio, but I'll take the shot. It's nothing crazy. But good program with a solid arena. I think it's a football school, but I do think their fan base cares, especially when they're good. The last few years, the Waddell era, I think they do care. It's not Penn State here. They care. So I'll take the shot.
Yeah, I'm really scrambling here at the end here with the 9th overall pick. I feel like this is where you kind of get down to the bare bones of it all. I'm actually gonna take, and what I experienced with Chrysler Arena was bad. It was a winter break or spring break game. Like the student section wasn't full, but it did remind me a ton actually of State Farm Center in terms of just like the way it kind of looks since it's been renovated. Both have been renovated, so it'll just like look newer on the inside. I'm sure when it's a big game and students are there, it's a tough place to play, and it's a good Michigan team. So I'll go Michigan with my 3rd pick.
Can I chime in on Michigan briefly?
Yeah.
So
yeah. I've been there since middle school. So
the arena itself is gorgeous. Like it feels like a very small professional arena more than anything. The problem is like, and again, it's shots at the fans, my own fan base, but like they could have a top 5 matchup against Michigan State and you could be there 15 minutes before and it's at like 50% capacity. And it's not the students. The students will be totally sold out. It's like the middle concourse is just a bunch of alumni who half the time don't show up for games that they have tickets to. So it makes for a ruthless environment. I know some of the players have called it out in recent past, and there's years where it's not the case. Like the years they were great with the Stauskas era, I don't think that happened too much. But even with Dickinson, the last couple, even with some success, like they've had trouble selling out games.
Yeah, I just didn't know where else to go. Like I could have gone Nebraska, that's a tough place to play. I could have gone Maryland, but like I've never been out there, so I felt bad.
I think 9's appropriate for Chrysler.
All
like
right,
that's not bad.
I've been to a lot of Maryland games. I mean, they're pretty fair weather. They made Turgeon quit. They'll get loud when good things are happening, but it's not like constantly like droning in your ear.